and now the merch sales are up 500%, and attendance is up, 40%. So they're going to get a raise. There's no question. And I don't really care that the previous 25 years they didn't make a lot of money or lost money. I don't care. They're in the middle of a negotiation, and they're on a heater. So it doesn't really matter. I've said this before. I made an investment for 5 years and it lost money, and I got about 6 months left in the investment, and in the last 6 months they started making cash.
There's no issue with athletes pushing for better pay. That's a fair ask. The 1BA has been on a strong upward trajectory lately, and regardless of how the previous couple of decades looked financially, the league is finally becoming a worthwhile investment. This week, players wore shirts sending a message about wanting higher compensation. That part is understandable, but rather than stopping there, one player from the LA team took an extra jab directed at Caitlin Clark during a press moment, essentially pointing out that none of Team Clark showed up for a solidarity meeting about the shirts.
Cash, I'm not bailing on the investment. I want to finally get my money back. So they're going to get a raise. They're finally turning a corner. But and negotiating in any business is all about current momentum. It's not about 12 years ago. It's about current momentum. There are companies, I'll give you an example. When The Athletic, which is a subscription-based sports writing site, got purchased by the New York Times, The Athletic was losing $45 million a year. They bought it for scale.
That comment raises eyebrows. For context, NBA players receive roughly half of league revenue, while NBA players get around 9%. Meanwhile, merchandise sales have jumped roughly 500%, and attendance is up about 40%. So a pay bump is coming. That's not really in question. It doesn't matter that the league operated at a loss for the past 25 years. Negotiations happen based on current momentum, not history.
$45 million a year. They bought it for scale. They bought it because at the time Biden, not Trump, was president. They were losing clicks. They weren't doing as well digitally, and The Athletic answered that bell. Athletic still doesn't make money. They bought it for scale. Not every company that wins in negotiations or is sold is wildly profitable. But the projection for the WNBA going forward and the current momentum are really, really good. So the T-shirts don't bother me. But why do you take...
Picture investing in something for 5 years with no return, then in the final stretch it suddenly turns profitable. Nobody pulls out at that point. You stay in to finally see a return. That's exactly where this league sits. Business negotiations hinge on present momentum, not past struggles. Take The Athletic as a comparison. A subscription sports journalism outlet purchased by a major newspaper despite losing tens of millions annually. It was acquired for scale and audience reach during a period of declining engagement, not because it was thriving financially.
Really good. So the T-shirts don't bother me. But why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself.
Even now, it isn't profitable. Not every acquired or successful in negotiation company is a moneymaker. But looking forward, the trajectory and momentum for the WNBA look genuinely strong, so the demand for higher pay through the shirts isn't the problem. The real issue is taking a shot at the very person driving that momentum, Caitlin Clark. Before her arrival, the league was flying commercial on budget airlines charging for water, with planes practically neon-colored.
Keep your issues to yourself. All right? You went from a Motel 6 in a sketchy part of town to a Four Seasons in the shopping district. Stop talking. I don't mind the T-shirts. I think you have leverage. I think you deserve more than 9%. But it's just misstep after misstep. It's time to grow up, girls. Like fast. Like this is the player that got you off the airline that was bright yellow.
Now, private travel is the norm. It's like being a band stuck playing at a rundown motel, then adding a new member and suddenly upgrading to a luxury resort. You don't complain to that new member. The travel situation went from a shady motel to an upscale shopping district hotel. There's no need for public complaints in that scenario. There's no problem with wanting more than 9% of revenue. That leverage exists and is deserved.
The airline that was bright yellow, right? She got you an upgrade to a better hotel as a band member. So I do think a lot of people are saying, hey, man, this league has never made money. It's an investment. It's now going to make money. And by the way, this is the least profitable, arguably, it'll be over the next 10 years. It's only going to get more profitable as women's basketball gets better, as the Caitlin Clark momentum train gets bigger. I mean, this year, she's not playing well.
But the string of missteps needs to stop. It's time to mature, and quickly. This is the same player responsible for getting everyone off that low-budget airline and into upgraded lodging as part of the new lineup. Plenty of people argue the league has never historically turned a profit and is only now becoming a real financial investment, and it's still probably the least profitable it will ever be going forward. As women's basketball continues to improve and Clark's popularity keeps building, profitability should only increase.
I mean, this year, she's not playing well. She's hurt. She's not there for all the games. So this is actually not as great as it could be. Like Michael Jordan, hurt year 2, next 12 years were legendary. That's what it's going to be. So I think they deserve a big raise, maybe not 50% of revenues, because NBA stars, there's a lot of them, and they move the needle. The WNBA stars, well, there's one that moves the needle. And here's the other thing to remember. Caitlin Clark's already rich. She made $11 million.
Notably, this season she hasn't even been playing at full capacity due to injury, missing games, so the current success isn't even close to peak potential. It's comparable to a star's rough second season before an incredible decade-plus run follows. A significant raise is warranted, though maybe not a full 50% revenue share like the NBA, since that league has many stars sharing influence. Whereas here, there's essentially one player carrying outsized impact. Also worth noting, she's already financially secure, earning roughly $1 million this year alone from endorsements outside of gameplay. So no matter how these negotiations unfold, she's set, unlike most others in the league.
$11 million this year alone in endorsements off the court. So regardless of how these negotiations go, she's set. Nobody else is, right? Like, so when somebody joins the band and everything gets upgraded, just be happy. Just, I know you wanted your song to be the first one they played. You wanted to make up the set. I mean,
when a new member joins a group and suddenly everything improves, the right response is gratitude, not resentment about not getting your preferred spotlight. The shirts aren't the concern, but it would help to dial back the resentment aimed at Clark specifically. Shifting to college football, the preseason Big Ten media poll has come out, and it's worth examining. The top offensive player in the sport is from Ohio State, and so is the top defensive player. Their recruiting class remains elite, and their NIL funding is enormous.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated. Let's get right into things. Stephanie White, where are you? Steffi, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Stephanie? Where is Stephanie White? I see everybody running to do damage control for you. You got Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham at the podium. Now we have Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston speaking at practice. From what I remember, Stephanie White always.
Penn State was selected to win the conference, and the expectation is they'll face Texas in the championship. This is going to be a tough pill for some to swallow, but the conference has clearly surpassed the SEC. It's not just that Ohio State won the title last season. They thoroughly dominated Tennessee and demolished Texas, who managed only 14 points, despite scoring more than that in 32 consecutive SEC games beforehand. The year prior, Alabama faced a Big Ten team in the championship and couldn't move the ball offensively, barely topping 100 passing yards.
Always speaks at practice. Has this lady gone into hiding? Is she hiding from the media now? Are you hiding from the fans because it was thousands of them booing you? Newsflash. There's nothing Kelsey Mitchell can say. There's nothing Aaliyah Boston can say. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham. There's nothing they can say to get the people to start liking you now. It's over. It's over. We have to get into this, man. Aaliyah Boston came and spoke out.
This mirrors what used to happen in reverse roughly 8 years back, when SEC powerhouses would shut down Big Ten offenses due to superior athleticism and defense. Now the roles have flipped. Look at how Ohio State's defense handled Tennessee and Texas, or how the Big Ten defense handled Alabama the year before that. There's a clear explanation, and it comes down to finances. Big Ten programs have larger alumni networks, easier fundraising capability for NIL, and major backing. Think Nike money tied to Oregon, USC's Los Angeles market, plus cities like New York, Chicago, Minneapolis, DC, and Seattle.
Over. It's over. We have to get into this, man. Aaliyah Boston came and spoke out for Stephanie White, among some others. I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. Take a listen.
I think when you are on your home floor and your team's getting announced and the coach is getting announced, I feel like there's no reason for any of that. I mean, we come out here and we do everything that we can to win, and I think Steph does a great job with us. Like, we love her and we appreciate her, and so to hear that, it was really annoying, honestly, and disrespectful. But for us, I mean, we kept the main thing, and we said we're going to come out here and we're going to get that dub.
Now my thing.
That's tech, entertainment, and financial capital fueling the conference, compared to the SEC's reliance on smaller regional businesses like car dealerships operating on thin margins. Recent spending rankings show the top spending programs are largely Big Ten schools, and that trend isn't reversing anytime soon. Every national champion in the college football playoff era has been ranked in the preseason top 6, and currently 3 of those top 6 spots belong to Big Ten teams. In 10 of the last 11 championship runs, the winner came from the preseason top 5.
Respectful, but for us, I mean, we kept the main thing, and we said we're going to come out here and we're going to get that dub.
Now my thing is, Aaliyah, you said there's no reason that should ever happen. Yes, there is a reason it should happen, and the reason happened, which is why she was booed. She has not stood up for the players. She didn't stand up for Caitlin Clark when Alyssa Thomas put her fist on Caitlin Clark's throat. She did not stand up for Sophie Cunningham while Dejanay Carrington gave her a clothesline that sent her into the galaxy. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that is why Stephanie White was booed.
With Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon all sitting in that range this year, that's a strong signal for where the eventual champion emerges. Last season, Ohio State's only losses came against fellow Big Ten opponents, while steamrolling every SEC team they faced. This has been a noticeable shift for a few years now, driven by financial resources shifting the balance of power. So even with Penn State ranked ahead of Ohio State in the preseason poll, considering Ohio State's proven championship-winning coach, top-tier recruiting class, massive NIL backing, and possession of both the best offensive and defensive players nationally, they're simply the stronger program.
Into the galaxy. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that is why Stephanie White was booed, and it was earned and deserved. Take it how you want. Kelsey Mitchell also stepped to the podium to speak about Stephanie White being booed.
Kelsey, what has Steph meant to this group, and heard the boos the other night, and maybe your reaction to that?
It threw me for a loop too. I told her to her face. I said, Coach.
The SEC had its era of dominance, but at the top level right now, the edge belongs to the Big Ten. Commentary from a prior week regarding Penn State raised a fair question. Despite having 2 standout running backs and one of the conference's best offensive lines, did they have enough talent at wide receiver last season? They didn't, and it remains unclear whether that's been fixed heading into this year, though hopes are that their perimeter skill has improved. Penn State did address this through the transfer portal, bringing in a receiver from USC, which should strengthen and diversify their passing attack.
Maybe your reaction to that?
It threw me for a loop too. I told her to her face. I said, Coach, this is for you. In terms of just a sense of confidence, a sense of awareness of that you're not alone. And if anybody knows me, it's like I don't play that. So it's like it really hurt my feelings to see her kind of like have emotions in terms of like not feeling valued and not feeling wanted in a place where she has to coach. At the end of the day, this is her job, and so she has to show up too. And I think that people don't really recognize that. And I think that it's our job to remind her. It's our culture, and I think we have to remind her that our culture is not going to let her.
Still, it comes back to the visual evidence. Years ago, strong SEC programs would face Big Ten opponents and simply overwhelm them, unable to be contained around the edges or sustain consistent offensive output. That's the same struggle seen recently from SEC programs against top Big Ten defenses. This season, expect Penn State to resemble what an elite SEC offense and defense looked like several years back. Stephanie White has been noticeably absent from media appearances following a rough stretch with fans.
It's our job to remind her. It's our culture, and I think we have to remind her that our culture is not going to let her fall to the wayside. So I hope she knows that.
Now, look, I feel that, look, y'all got to do what y'all got to do in the locker room, whatever. But from a fan's perspective, the fans are fed up. The fans are fed up with her, Kelsey. Sorry, not sorry. The fans have had enough. They are tired of Stephanie White not standing up for the players. I see why you feel so strongly about it. You're her favorite. She'll let you run around and just shoot a million times if you want to. Not to come at you, but
At recent events, players such as Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham handled questions at the podium, while Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston addressed reporters at practice instead of the head coach herself. Historically, White has been the one to speak to media after practice sessions. Her absence has raised questions about whether she is avoiding reporters and fans following heavy booing at a recent home game. The argument circulating is that no amount of support from players, whether Mitchell, Boston, Clark, or Cunningham, will repair public opinion at this stage.
she'll let you run around and just shoot a million times if you want to. Not to come at you, but I get why you'd be in favor of Stephanie White. I mean, she pretty much tried to hand the team to you. But this is not going to change anything. Stephanie White is hiding. I've been looking for the Stephanie White interview online. Where's her soundbite? Stephanie White is not speaking to the media, and I think it's pretty embarrassing. She has officially went into hiding mode.
Boston addressed the situation directly when asked about the reaction toward her coach. She said that being booed on the home floor during team and coach introductions felt unnecessary and disrespectful, especially given how hard the team competes. She expressed appreciation for White's coaching and said the group stayed focused on winning despite the noise. Critics pushed back on that defense, arguing there was a clear reason for the booing.